I didn't tell you what today's subject was, did I? Today's subject, true or false, on farm animals. So that is what. And I restocked, got a few more books. All right, we ready to go? Hello, Lucy. Thank you, You know that's Justin who, like Gallant, survived being set on fire. Oh, you're welcome. All right, first question. Ready? Here we go. All farm animals were once wild animals. All farm animals were once wild animals. True or false? Hello, Dwitty. All right, Ting Tong says false. Macy H says true. Lucy Sydney says false. Callie M's dad says true. Ed Power says false. Gerald Roberts says false. Tina says false. DeWitty says true. Danielle says false. The answer is true. At one time, all animals, including horses, cows, chickens, goats, pigs, sheep, ducks, and turkeys, lived in the wild. Then around 12,000 years ago, people began to farm the land. They tamed a few kinds of animals to live near them. Today, farmers keep these farm animals for meat, milk, eggs, work, or as pets. Goats and sheep were the first farm animals. Okay, here comes the next question. True or false? Cows usually give birth in the summer. Cows usually give birth in the summer. Oh, here comes Nobody Doesn't Like Coralie. Hello, Dave. All right. Keep that up, Ed Power. You're going to be sheared. All right. We got DeWitty says false. Danielle says hi, Dave. Ed Power says false. Macy H says false. Ting Tong says true. Minotaro X Tap Out says false. Callie M's dad says true. Lucy Sydney says false. Mary Gilly false. Schleep NC says false. Tina says false. What's that?
I'm guessing false.
Yes. Danielle says false, it's spring like sheep. That's what I think it is, but we'll see. The answer is, and you're absolutely right, Danielle, false. Cows usually give birth in the spring. That's when the weather is warm and there's lots of fresh grass to eat. The newborn baby is called a calf. For 5 to 6 months, the calf drinks its mother's milk. After that, the calf grazes on grass. If the young animal is still hungry, the farmer feeds it hay or grain. Cows, females, bulls, males, and calves, young cows and bulls, are sometimes called cattle. All right. True or false? And I think I know the answer to this. A cow produces just enough milk to feed its calf. True or false? A cow produces just enough milk to feed its calf. True or false? Ting Tong says false. Lucy Sydney says true. Shlee says false. Macy says false. Danielle says true. Gerald says false. Dave says false. Kelly M's dad says false. Ed Power is playing it on both sides. It says maybe true, maybe false. Hello, Magic. Magic is now. Did Woody says false? They feed us milk also. Humans. Wasn't that? Wouldn't that be mooins? Tina says false. Okay, the answer is. The answer is Magic is chewing on my shoes again. The answer is false. A cow usually produces more milk than its calf can drink. Farmers collect the extra milk by hand or with milking machines and put it in a refrigerated storage tank. Then they send it to the factory where machines put some of the milk into bottles or cartons to sell in stores. They also use some of the milk to make butter, cheese, ice cream, or yogurt. Brown cows give white, not chocolate milk. You know, it's crazy how many people think chocolate milk comes from brown cows. It's just crazy. All right. I know the answer to this one. True or false? Cows chew their food before swallowing. True or false? Cows chew their food before swallowing.
Hungry again?
Strawberry milk comes from fruit. Yep. All right, we got some answers. Chase says false. Ting Tong says true. Danielle says true. Lucy Sydney says false. Macy says true. Christina says false. Gerald Roberts says true. Ed Power says true. Callie M's dad says true. Dave says false. Shlee says true. Tina says true. Mary Jilly says false. All right. So the answer is true. Cows chew their food before and after they swallow it. Cows take in mouthfuls of food with their tongue and lower front teeth. They grind the food with their back teeth and swallow. Then they bring up the half-chewed food, now called cud, and chew it for 6 to 8 hours before swallowing it again. A cow's stomach has 4 separate parts. Your stomach only has 1. That's how I knew the answer to this, because I knew there was cows have 4 stomachs. So, all right. Here comes an interesting question. Only female chickens lay eggs. True or false? Only female chickens lay eggs. Here they come. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, supper, 4 stomachs. All right, we're getting some answers. Ting Tong says true. Callie M's dad says true. Christina says true. Chase F says true. Ed Power says true, maybe. Way to commit there. Lucy, Tina, Danielle, and Shlee says true. Mary Gilly going out on the limb and bucking the trend says false. Gerald Roberts says false. Does that mean that Batman smells Lost Girl? Alright, here's the answer. The answer is true. Female chickens, called hens, start laying eggs when they are about 5 months old. Male chickens, or roosters, never do. Some chicken eggs have white shells, some shells are brown or bluish, but all eggs are the same on the inside. Most eggs are eaten by humans. A hen lays about 250 eggs a year. Here comes another one. I think I know the answer. True or false? Not all chicken eggs can hatch. True or false? Not all chicken eggs can hatch. I'm going to see if I can back up a little bit now that this bed is not occupied. Thank you, Dave. Yes, the Batmobile lost its wheel. All right, Danielle says true. Ting Tong says true. Lost Girl says true. Mary Gilly says true. Shlee says true. Chase says true. Batman needs a shower, huh? All right. Callie M's dad says true. DeWitty says false. Tina, Christina, Ed Power, Gerald Roberts all say true. All right. The answer is true. Only eggs that are fertilized by a rooster can hatch into baby chickens or chicks. The hen lays the fertilized egg and keeps them warm until they hatch. This can take about 3 weeks. On large farms, the farmer collects the eggs and sends them to a hatchery where they are kept warm until the chicks are born. The hen rests lightly on the egg to warm, but not crush it. All right, here comes the next one. True or false? Chickens cannot fly. True or false? Chickens cannot fly. True or false, chickens cannot fly. Of course, I just came from KFC, so I can tell you that they do fry. All right. Ting Tong says true. Danielle says true. Gerald says true. Christina says false. Chase says true. Callie M's dad says false. Dom D says false. Mary Gilly says true. Lost Girl says false. Tina says false. Shlee says false. The answer is false. Chickens have wings and can fly, but they can't go very far, only a few feet, less than 1 meter at a time. Chickens flap their wings to fly up or down in a coop, to fight other chickens or to escape from their enemies. Afraid that the chickens might fly away, farmers sometimes clip their feathers. The longest chicken flight on record lasted only 13 seconds. So, next question. True or false? Roosters only crow at dawn. True or false? Roosters only crow. Yep, and Lost Girls, some chickens think people have beaks. And Lost Girl, I remember that song. Some people think chickens have lips. All right. Ed Power says false. Shlee says true. No, she says hi, do. Chase says false. Dave says false. DeWitty, she, Christina, Lost Girl, Callie M's all say false. Michelle says true. Mary Gilly says false. Danielle says false. Gerald says false. Tina says true. All right, we're getting some good participation today. The answer is false. Roosters crow at any time of the day or at night. Yeah, actually, Lost Girl, I remember that from the Dr. Demento show. If you remember, well, Dr. Demento actually still has his show online now. So roosters crow at any time of the day or night. Their crowing, a loud, shrill call, sends a signal to the other roosters. Stay away. People think that roosters only crow at dawn because the morning is a quiet time, and the crowing is often the first sound they hear. Roosters often crow when an animal or person comes near. All right, next question. True or false? Young goats are called kids. Kids these days. Young goats are called kids. Yes, WMMR was a radio station, or is a radio station in Philadelphia. Look, all the Philly people here are just, talking about Philly stuff, and everybody else is lost. All right, Shlee says true. Dave, Danielle, Ed Power, Michelle, Gerald, Callie, M's dad says true. Christina says true. Chase says false. Oh no, Chase says true. Tina says true. I think this is an easy one. True. Young goats are called kids, just like young people are. Bucks are adult male goats. They are also known as billy goats. Adult females are does, sometimes called nanny goats. A nanny goat that is kidding is giving birth, not being funny. Next question. True or false? Goats only eat grass. True or false? Goats only eat grass. False. Nope. Chase says false. Danielle says false. Christina, Shlee, Dave say false. Michelle says true. Callie M's dad says false. Ed Power says they sometimes eat shoes, so false. Mary says false. Gerald says true. Lost Girl isn't answering. Tina says false. Clarence says false. The answer is false. Goats also eat other plants, leaves, shoots, and twigs. They often rear up on their back legs to pull off the leaves that other animals can't reach. When there is not enough grass or leaves to go around, goats will also eat the bark of trees. Goats would sooner starve than eat food that they have stepped on or that mice have made dirty. All right, next question. True or false? Goats, or most goats, are unfriendly. True or false? Most goats are unfriendly. And I hear Jesse with that little... All right, Danielle says false. Chase and Christina says true. Dave and Michelle says true. Gerald says true. Lost Girl says false. Shlee says false. Mary Gilly says false. Tina says false. Yes, Power. Most makes it tricky. Callie M's dad says false. And looks like most folks think it's false. The answer is false. Goats usually get along with all farm animals and with people too. In fact, goats and horses often share stalls like good friends. Just before a horse race, people have been known to kidnap the goat from a rival horse's stall to upset the horse. This may have led to the saying, "You've got my goat," which means you upset me. Goats like people to scratch them, especially around their shoulders. All right, next question. True or false? Only bucks have beards. True or false? Only bucks have beards. I haven't seen Ramsey, but I think he was. Oh, I was gonna say I think he was sleeping when I passed him. All right, Chase says false. Mary Gilly says false. Lost Girl says true. Christina says false. Danielle says true. Callium's dad says true. DeWoody says I don't know. Michelle says false. Tina says true. Gerald says Billy goats have beard is true. Schlee says true. All right, let's see what the answer is. The answer is false. Some does have beards too. You can tell a doe from a buck because the doe is usually caring for her kid. Another clue, a doe has an udder which holds milk between her back legs. More people in the world drink goat milk than cow's milk. Interesting. So, all right, next question. True or false? Pigs are dirty animals. True or false? Pigs are dirty animals. Magic. Hi, buddy. How you doing? You go right for my shoes. All right. All right, we're getting some trues and false. Schlee says true. Danielle says false. Michelle says true. DeWoody says false. Dave, Lost Girl, Callie M, Mary Gilly says false. Christina says false. Hey, Craig, welcome. Didn't see you sneak on here. Schlee says false. Craig says false. Tina says false. Let's go with what the answer is, because I think it's false as well. And the answer is false. Pigs keep themselves cleaner than most other farm animals, but sometimes they roll around in mud to cool off. Pigs cannot sweat. These mud baths make people think pigs are dirty. Mud also works as a kind of sunscreen to protect their skin. Pigs may roll in mud during the day, but they like to sleep on clean, dry straw at night. All right, next question. True or false? Farmers feed mostly corn to their pigs. Farmers feed mostly corn to their pigs. And those of you couple Philly folks on here, do you guys remember when they would collect the garbage in the Philly area, because they would take the garbage and they would feed the pigs at the local farms with the garbage? You know, you had the little garbage pail, you put it out. You know, in the summertime, you had to put your garbage in the refrigerator or in the freezer so it wouldn't stink up the house. Remember those days? All right, looks like I got some answers. Chase says true. Craig says true. Danielle says false. Christina says true. Mary says false. DeWitty says false. Michelle says false. Callie M's dad says true. MK says false. Schlee and Tina say false. All right, let's see what the answer is. First, I gotta sneeze. Yep, The garbage men and pails, they used to bring it to the farms to feed to their pigs. The answer actually is true. A farm pig's main food is corn with some wheat, oats, vitamins, and minerals mixed in. But pigs will eat almost anything. They feast on roots, grass, fruit, leaves, flowers, bugs, worms, and even small animals, dead or alive. Pigs also dine on food scraps from the kitchen or the fields and other garbage. Yeah. um, yeah. Just remember, growing up you know, in Albany in Philadelphia, we put the trash out front and the garbage out the back, and I think they took the garbage twice a week, and then they'd have the garbage trucks that would come in, and they ship it right to the. Thank you, Mary. They ship it right to the. Yeah, interesting times. Okay. Next question. True or false? Female pigs give birth to one piglet at a time. True or false? Female pigs give birth to one piglet at a time. Hi. How you doing? You're licking my fingers, huh? Oh, no problem. That was back before we composted, DeWitty. All right. Shlee says true. Danielle says false. Michelle says true. Chase says true. Mary and Lost Girl Gerald say false. Christina says true. All right. Craig says false. Tina says false. All right. The answer is false. Female pigs, called sows, usually give birth to 8 to 12 piglets at a time. The group of newborns is called a litter. The babies get milk from the sow for about 3 to 4 weeks. The piglets double their weight in the first 3 weeks. When fully grown, they can weigh more than 500 pounds, or 226.8 kilograms. Growing young pigs usually eat 5 pounds of food a day. Oh, good, I don't feel so bad. Next question. True or false? All sheep are white. True or false? All sheep are white. £500. Yep. There's no such thing as a mini pig. Sometimes you get those unscrupulous sellers, selling mini pigs, and it's not true. Danielle, Craig, Mary, Michelle, Shlee, Gerald all say false. DeWitty, Lost Girl. Bonnie's on here. We gotta be quiet now. Tina says false. Calliem's dad says false. Clarence says false. I think we can reveal the answer. I don't think anybody said true. And the answer is false. There can be one or more black sheep in a group of white sheep. Most farmers prefer white sheep because their wool can be dyed other colors. Some, though, breed sheep to produce gray, silver, brown, red, or black wool for those who prefer natural colors. Today, a person may call someone who does not fit in a black sheep. Farmers move big herds of sheep from pasture to pasture to feed on the grass. All right. Next question. There's Lucy. Lucy. Hi, Lucy. Lucy. What's a Lucy? You're such a sweet girl. Such a sweetie. She was out walking a little bit today. Or walk as best as she could. Okay. Next, true or false? Farmers cut the wool from their sheep once a year. Farmers cut the wool from their sheep once a year. That's right, it is Lucy's birthday. Is that Canby? Canby. Canby's ignoring it.
Come here. Come on, let's go.
Lucy. Uh-oh, Bonnie says true. So you know it's probably false.
Come on, Jamie.
Craig says true. Christina, Michelle, Shlee
Jamie.
say true. Mary Gilly says false.
Come on,
Danielle,
let's go potty.
Gerald, Kelly M's dad say true.
Come on, let's go.
Chase says true.
Let's go.
Clarence says true. Tina says true.
Come on.
The answer is true. Farmers usually shear off the sheep's soft coat of wool in the spring. The wool, called fleece, has a special oil that keeps out the water. It protects the sheep from rain and snow. Young sheep produce the softest and finest wool, called lamb's wool. One sheep produces enough wool every year to make a man's suit. So, I'm going to ask my Philly folks again. Do you guys remember when we were kids? Farmers would bring their sheep, a bunch of sheep to our schools, and they would shear the sheep in like the schoolyard. It was a big presentation. And I remember when, when I was a kid, when they would shear them, sometimes they'd nick them a little bit, and then there would be, there would be a couple of bleeding spots, and that used to kind of freak me out. Oh my God, the sheep is bleeding. That's not good. You hurt him. Yeah. Every year we'd go out and watch the farmers shear the sheep. Okay, next question. True or false? Sheep like to be alone. True or false? Sheep like to be alone. Oh yeah, I guess maybe in Catholic school they didn't have it. Yeah, I mean it was only a couple spots, Lee. I mean, of course they're gonna, maybe some nicks and all that. But it was fascinating watching them when you were a kid. Danielle, Shlee, Chase, Christina, Craig, Michelle, Bonnie, Lost Girl all say false. Gerald says true. Clarence, Tina say false. Mary Gilly says true. The answer is false. Sheep usually stay together in large flocks to keep safe from their many enemies. Most sheep try to stay in the middle of the flock for the best protection. Often, a shepherd will keep the flock together and protect the sheep from wolves and other predators. Sometimes a trained dog, donkey, or llama does the job of a shepherd. All right, I think this might be an easy one. All right. Next question, true or false? Farm horses wear shoes. Farm horses wear shoes. True or false? right, Michelle is the first one in with her answer. Says true. Chase, Craig, Shlee, Christina, Danielle all say true. Mary Gilly says false. DeWitty says false, but they should. Clarence says true. Tina says false. Lost Girl says they prefer Birkenstock. You know, it's funny, Lost Girl, I was going to mention, you know, most of them prefer low heels. All right, the answer is true. Farmers nail horseshoes to the bottom of their horses' feet. The nails don't actually hurt the horses at all. Each foot is really a single toe. Since horses walk or run on the tips of their toes, they can easily be hurt. Horseshoes protect a horse's feet, just as your shoes protect your feet. The sole of a horse's foot never touches the ground. Interesting, huh? All right, there's only a couple questions left, I think. 1, 2, 3 questions left. All right.
Kitty, 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 kitty.
True or false? Ducks lay one egg at a time. Wasn't that a show with Bonnie Franklin? One egg at a time.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Have a good night.
You too.
Hey, Lost Girl, ask Bonnie about the time that she wore Birkenstocks. And she didn't, she only wore them a couple times. All right. Michelle, Chase, Danielle say false. Callie M's dad says true. Christina says false. Gerald says false. Ting Tong says true. Mary says true. Shlee says false. DeWitty says false. Craig says false. It's funny because it looks like we're kind of right down the middle here. Ducks lay one egg at a time. Oh, you do know about that story, Lost Girl. Okay. The answer is false. Female ducks lay between 5 and 21 eggs at a time. The number of eggs depend upon the breed. The eggs hatch in about a month. 2 days later, the baby ducks or ducklings can walk, swim, and find food. But the mother duck still keeps them together and cares for them. The ducklings' main enemies are turtles, owls, hawks, raccoons, skunks, opossums, cats, and dogs. I don't know if, you know, I know one time, and Bonnie can vouch for this. One time we were driving somewhere, and we saw a flattened duck on the road. And in the corner of my eye, I could see a whole bunch of ducklings. And I was passing them. So I realized at that time that mother must have just gotten hit by the car. And there was all these babies that were just scattered. So I came around and we stopped. And while I was maneuvering the driveway, Bonnie was making some phone calls, and we ended up finding a box, and we got all the ducks, and it was like 12 of them, and they were young, and so this was like their first, you know, walking. But anyway, the box we had a hole in it, and so the whole time that we were driving, because we took them to a sanctuary that where they you know, were basically for orphan baby ducks. The whole time we were driving there, it was about a 30-minute drive. You know, they were popping their head up in the hole like it was whack-a-mole. You know, whoop, 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 whoop. You know, Oh, I think it was, boy, we felt really bad that, mom got hit. And here they are, all alone. But, we made the best of it. And I think we did good. We saved all their lives, gave it out to a sanctuary where they were getting fed. I'm surprised Bonnie's not chiming in about that. She probably forgot about it. Okay, next question. True or false? Farm turkeys have red necks. Farm turkeys have red necks. Yeah, it is a good ending. I mean, it certainly could have been worse. Yeah, I felt so bad when that happened to Whitty. We must have just missed it happening. All right, so now we're getting some answers. Michelle, Danielle, Craig, Chase, Gerald say true. Lost Girl, Christina say false. Kelly M's dad says true. Tina says true. Bonnie must have fallen asleep. Mary Gilly has a question mark. Just guess. Or say Tross. Tralse. Tross. All right. The answer is now going to be revealed. The answer is true. Farm turkeys have red necks. Billy fell asleep. Farm turkeys have red necks. Some wild turkeys have necks and heads of different colors. A tom or male turkey also has a piece of loose red skin that hangs from its lower jaw. This is called a wattle. A wattle. The neck of a tom turkey turns a brighter red in the spring to help it attract a mate. Very interesting. Yes, kitten wrestling. All right. There's only one question left. All right. I think we're going to know this answer. True or false? Farm animals make good pets. True or false? Farm animals make good pets. Oh, God. Hey, Bonnie, do these two remind you of anybody a year ago? These two right here? I'll give you a hint. One of them ended up at FFRC. Oh, hi, Jesse. Michelle, Danielle, Craig all say true. Mary Gilly says true. Christina says true. Chase says true. Look at these two. So it looks like everybody's saying the true. Wrestling kittens. Everybody has said true. DeWitty says true. All right. The answer is true. Many youngsters who live in the country keep a few farm animals as pets. Some like to care for the animals and show them at county fairs. Others simply like to play with them or watch what they do. And some enjoy training the pets and teaching them tricks. Lambs, goats, horses, llamas, pigs, and cows are the most popular farm animal pets. So that's it for the true or false of farm animals. Next week, I am probably going to bring I have a couple other true or false books. They're not in this style though. I don't know if I'm going to bring that, or I have another book like this on reptiles. You know, when I was a kid, I loved reptiles. I would, I used to bring home snakes all the time. I loved snakes when I was a kid. Loved them. You know, it was, it was awesome. Thank you, Chase. That's very kind of you. I just sit here and read. Oh, here's the Trollmeister. Trill, trill, trill. Trill, trill. What are you doing? You have a little gallant face. So, Slee, you know, there's so much misinformation about snakes. They're really, you know, they're really cool. Just watching them. You know, people think they're slimy, and they are they are not slimy. They're scaly. You know, they are really, really cool. When I was in 5th grade, we had to do a report called a mini expert, and it was like half your grade, and I did it on snakes, and it had to be 10 pages. And I thought that was just impossible to write 10 pages on snakes. But it's funny because I ended up on 20 pages in 5th grade. But, you know, a couple of things were pictures and things like that. But part of that project was I had to do a presentation in school about them. I don't know if I bought my snakes in the class or not. I don't remember that. But I do remember I showed them about snake bites and what you do, even though I'm here now, you do not suck the venom out anymore. And they used to tell you that, you you make an X above where the snake bite is and you suck out the venom. But like I said, I don't think they do that. But that's what I showed them 5th grade. I gave them all that misinformation. Look at these two. If you guys remember, you know, a year ago, we were fostering a mom and 5 babies, and 2 of them were dilute, like these two, and one of them you might remember because last November I brought him here to FFRC because he had CH, but he had a very mild case of CH, but that didn't stop him. And that was Dune. Now, we named him Dickens, but yeah, he was renamed Dune when we got here. And you knew he wasn't going to be here long because he was just a really, really cute cat. And he just had a little head shake, and sometimes he wouldn't walk straight. But, you know, between him and his other brother, who looked just like him, I think his brother was just a little bit darker, just like these two. Yeah, dude. So, they're coming up in my memories, Lost Girl. All the pictures I took of them. They were such a wonderful, wonderful fosters. You know, they were all, you know, really, really just great kittens, and Mom was great too. I was really, really happy that we got to rescue them, and you know, we had them for a few months, and like I said, Dune, I took him here, and you know, just wonderful. Oh my God. That is hilarious. Hi, Ms. M. How are you? Barbara's doing okay. She's had some, you know, she's had some setbacks. Every now and then she's actually Lost Girl Magnolia is our mommy. You know, Magnolia at our house. That's Magnolia. Now this one's name was Coral. So Barbara's, she's slowly getting better. Every now and then she's has some issues with her breathing, and this is why, you have to pay attention to, this is not, people like to say, well, the death rate's very low for COVID-19, and well, it is kind of, I mean, it's not really that low. I mean, it's got like about a 5% fatality rate, but what they're not telling you is all of the other problems. People have, a lot of problems after they recover from it. So that's all right, Lost Girl. So that's why I get a little, when people aren't wearing their masks and when people are not taking this virus seriously. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I kind of get it with the kids and with the young adults. When we were that age, we didn't think anybody was, we thought we were invincible. But, the older you get, the chances of it being more severe, not good. Which ones? One of them is now, thank you, DeWitty. It looks like they're okay now, Lost Girl. One of them now has a toy. Oh. Does anybody know? Yes, Percy's is walking around with the foxtail. Yeah. What is the name of this gray kitten that's in here? It's got the little swirly stripes. Really, really nice kitten. I have never seen one, Gerald. Let me just stand up. Thank you, Tina. Oh. Mm. Uh-oh. Yeah, and oops, somebody's playing. Oh, that was a bad joke. Okie dokie, everybody. I am going to get going. As usual, it's been fun, and I will see everybody next week. Oh, you having fun? Ah, yes. You having fun? Oh, you're sniffing my shoes? Did Magic tell you to come over and tell you? Oh, thank you, Craig. Where is Magic? Nobody doesn't like Coralie. All right, guys, break it up. Ah, Trill.